Hello everyone, this is Carbonomics. We have an exciting update to go over today on Abaxx Technologies, and I'll be putting out a full video explaining Abaxx's business model and all of the intricacies of the company tomorrow, so stay tuned for that as well. Full disclosure, I am a shareholder of Abaxx, and it was previously the largest position in my portfolio before the company's share price crashed earlier this year, and I have been adding to my position today as well. With that out of the way, Abaxx dropped news today that it had begun commercial onboarding with the core group of FCMs, or financial clearing merchants, that they had already identified while they were working on expanding their technology stack. This means that partnering with Xberry and Bay Markets was certainly beneficial to developing the additional technological capabilities that market participants were looking for. Originally, the delays in the launch of the exchange were due to FCMs demanding more risk management and technology tools be in place at launch. And many of these more advanced tools or softwares were originally set to be released in phase 2 after the exchange launch, but they were pushed forward. It is worth noting that Abaxx previously disclosed that some of their product offerings in the Abaxx software suite or console have reached beta testing. The Abaxx Verifier, used for identity verification, and other Web3 applications as well. So now that the technology is relatively complete now, this allows for the onboarding of FCMs and clearing member banks. Abaxx has also mentioned that they doubled the size of their software development team and the team on Abaxx Exchange itself. The first end-to-end trade testing is set to be complete in 2023. Connection of FCMs to testing systems is set to be ready in October as well, from what was described in the update. We know from an annual information form released on March 31st, 2022, that Abaxx expects onboarding and technical integration of these FCMs to take around 3 to 6 months in total. So this places the likely launch of the exchange in Q1 2023. So far, all the expectations in this form have relatively been maintained, and Abaxx has been maintaining this schedule. This appears to be a good basis to go off of, and they actually did mention that themselves in the press release this morning. All we have left is the onboarding of FCMs, the testing, simulations, and other work that would be conducted already to receive final regulatory approval for both market operation and the clearinghouse from the Monetary Authority of Singapore, or MAS. In addition to the work they are doing to launch with a physically settled LNG futures contract, Abaxx is also working to identify additional products for submission to the MAS. We know from previous business updates, Abaxx has been planning work on launching futures contracts related to gold and carbon and battery metals as well. There's also been strict market demand for this related to battery metals like nickel, cobalt, and others. And Abaxx has described how they're particularly reaching out to them to launch new contracts in these metals. After the issues that LME was facing in March with volatility related to nickel, the market's definitely looking for a more secure trading platform like Abaxx. As per comments from Josh Crum, Abaxx was particularly focused on taking market share in the gold market as one of the starting markets, which is historically extremely opaque, quite frankly confusing in the way that derivatives and paper assets are influencing the pricing found in precious metals. The market manipulation around gold, silver, and other metals like this are a known pain point in the industry, especially toward large banks like JP Morgan, who we know tend to manipulate markets and get away with it with little punishment from regulatory bodies. It's not known what type of market share Abaxx could get, but it is worth keeping in mind after the LNG contract launches. Once revenues are rolling in, Josh has planned to uplist to NASDAQ in the United States. The company wanted to wait until they were generating revenues, probably because that would help with the institutional investor interest. An uplisting would dramatically increase liquidity and investor participation for sure. There have been investors in the past that voiced their annoyance that they could not get shares in the company due to currently only be listing in the OTC in the US and the NEO exchange in Canada. Well, they'll likely get their chance to buy for the first time in 2023. And this only makes it easier for institutions to invest in the company who likely don't have access to either of those exchanges as well. As for the financials, Abaxx reported yesterday, the cash burn of the company increased to 1.5 million per month due to increased deployment costs and development costs. A large part of that increasing the team size and the work done with Xperi and Bay markets. The remaining cash that Abaxx has around 8 million, and their investments in gold also increased to 8 million. So there's 16 million in total liquidity left remaining. Keep in mind they need to maintain around a 10 million cash buffer for their clearinghouse. So they will likely need to get additional funding from somewhere when that time comes. And the last interesting note as well is here, noting that the investment value of Pasek and Hudson was dropped by $1.2 million. So not necessarily sure what happened there, but there weren't many other notable changes as far as financials go. And also, Abaxx has confirmed that there is interest in partnerships, even directly at the exchange level from market participants. We don't know all the possible candidates for this, but one that has been discussed in the past in some sort of cooperation or partnership role would be with Saudi Aramco or Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund. The PIF is looking to establish a voluntary carbon market in 2023. So there are many potential existing avenues that the two parties could build a partnership there. In October 2021, Abaxx's board member, Cyrus Heramanek, who had previously worked on Saudi Aramco's IPO and the sale of SABIC to PIF by Aramco, he was meeting with Aramco's CEO and the PIF at the time. It is speculative in nature, but it's definitely possible we see some sort of partnership, joint venture, or some other cooperation form here in the coming months. But this is all speculation at this point. We will hear about how the development process is going and some of the more expanded explanations in the next investor call. The Abaxx investor call for Q3 has been confirmed for August 25th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to submit a question to them ahead of time, they have listed the information there to do so. But yeah, that is it for the investor update on Abaxx Technologies. I'm definitely excited to see where this company is going to be positioned in a few years. And I am going to continue accumulating more shares in the company as we get closer to launch. If you like the video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for the YouTube algorithm. And I will talk to you tomorrow in my video about Abaxx's different business verticals. Thanks for watching.